Hello guys, I welcome you all to my channel. This is me presented by Damayanti. So today's topic is Jean Piaget theory of cognitive development. So his full name is Jean William Fritz Piaget from 1896 to 1980. He was a uh, so he was a Swiss psychologist, biologist, and educational thinker who is best known for his theory of cognitive development. He studied how children think, learn, and understand the world around them. Piaget believed that children are active learner. Cognitive development occurs in this stage. Children construct knowledge through interaction with the environment. He defines intelligence on the ability to adjust, adapt, or deal efficiently with one's environment. His theory greatly influenced education, child psychology, teaching methods, and curriculum planning. So, his cognitive skills include thinking, understanding, reasoning, problem solving, memory, language, and intelligence, logic, perception, justification, etc. Piaget explained how children think changes as they grow. So, there are four stages of cognitive development theory that are schema, assimilation, accommodation, equilibrium. As, what is schema? A schema is a mental framework or pattern used to organize knowledge and understand information. In simple words, schema acts like a mental map that stores knowledge about objects, actions, events, and relationships. For example, a child knows a dog has four legs, so the child may call every four-legged animal a dog. Next is assimilation. Assimilation is addition of new information into existing knowledge. So, for example, a child sees a cow and calls it a dog because both have four legs. Next is accommodation. What is accommodation? Accommodation is modification of existing schemas according to the new experience. For example, a child learns that all the four-legged animals are not dog, so the child learns that cows and dogs are different animals. Next is equilibrium. Equilibration is the balance between assimilation and accommodation. It helps children move from one stage of development to another. It helps children achieve stable understanding. When by existing schema the new situation is not fully handled, then such imbalance can be reduced by focusing on the stimuli that cause the imbalance. Then according to Piaget, there is created a state of disequilibrium or imbalance between what is understood and what is encountered. So next is stages of cognitive development. Piaget divided cognitive development into four stages, that are sensory motor stages, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. So let's start with sensory motor stage from birth to 2 years of the child. So sensory motor stage is the first stage in Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. It occurs from birth to 2 years. Piaget believed that during this stage, infants learn about the world mainly through their sense, physical movement, action, and experience. So, what is sensory motor means? So, the term sensory means using senses like seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, etc. And motor means a physical movement or actions. Thus, baby understand the world by looking, touching, grasping, sucking, crawling and moving objects. So next is characteristics of sensory motor stage, that is learning through sense and action. For example, infants gain knowledge by seeing object, touching through touching things, listening to sounds, testing objects, moving their bodies. For example, a baby shakes a toy repeatedly to hear the sound of the toy. Next is development of reflexes. At birth, babies mainly use reflex actions such as sucking, grasping, crying. These reflex gradually become controlled action. For example, a newborn automatically suck when given milk. Development of motor skills means children gradually learn by holding objects, sitting, crawling, standing, walking, etc. So, motor development helps cognitive growth. Next is curiosity and exploration of the surrounding. For example, babies becomes curious about their surrounding, like they touch objects, throw toys, bang objects, open containers, etc. Through exploration, they learn cause and effect. Next point is development of object permanence, which is very important of the sensory motor stage. This is the stage where object permanence means object continue to exist even when they cannot be seen. For example, a baby search for a hidden toy under a blanket. Before development of object permanence, baby think hidden object disappear completely. So there are some sub-stages of Piaget sensory motor development that are, this is not so very important, but still we will cover in this video. That is, Piaget divided sensory motor stages into 6 sub-stages that are reflexive actions. It is from birth to 1 month. Primary circular action, secondary circular action, coordination of secondary circular action, tertiary circular action and mental representation stage. We will discuss one by one. Let's start with reflexive actions. In this stage, behavior is based on reflexes and automatic action dominates. Reflexive actions include sucking, grasping, blinking, etc. For example, a baby sucks anything placed near the mouth. Next is primary circular reaction. It is from 1 to 4 months baby. So in this, babies repeat actions including their own body because they are pleasurable. The term circular means repeated again and again actions, and primary are focused on the baby's own body. For example, thumb sucking, repeated kicking. So here the baby accidentally discover an action and repeats it. Next is secondary circular reactions. It is from 4 to 8 months. In this stage, baby repeat actions involving external objects. Baby's interest shift from own body to their surrounding. Like, for example, shaking a toy repeatedly or by hitting an object to create sound. Here the baby begins to understand that their actions can affect the object. Next is coordination of secondary reactions. It is from 8 to 12 months. In this stage, baby intentionally behavior develops and goal-directed action appears. Baby combine their actions to achieve goals. For example, a baby move a pillow to reach a hidden toy. This stage marks early problem solving of the baby, and beginning of object permanence starts. Next substage is tertiary circular reaction, that is from 12 to 18 months. In this stage, baby active experiment begins. So, baby try new action to observe results. They become little scientist. For example, a child develop object from different heights to see what happens. The child explore cause and effect, new methods, trial and error learning. Next is the last substage of the sensory motor stage, that is mental repetition stage from 18 to 24 months. In this stage, child thinking develops internally. Children can form mental images and symbolic thinking begins. For example, a child remembers where a toy was hidden earlier. The child now can imagine events, solve simple problems mentally, and use words and symbols. This stage prepares children for the next stage, that is pre-operational stage. So, in pre-operational stage, it is the stage from 2 to 7 years of the age. During the pre-operational stage, children increasingly adapt at using symbols as evidenced by the increase in playing and pretending. For example, a child is able to use a object to represent something else, such as pretending a broom, like which is called jhadu in local language, and thought it is a horse and he is riding a horse. Here the thinking of the child is egocentric, means the child cannot easily understand others' point of view. So, in this stage, preschoolings begins to develop concepts more like adults, but still these concepts are incomplete. Language undergoes rapid growth, symbolic thinking develops, imagination and pretends play increases. Child thinking is characterized by centration, egocentric, animism, lack of conservation. So here is N is missing. We will discuss one by one these key points. So egocentrism is like, for example, a child assume everyone sees the world exactly as they do. Animism means children behave non-living things have feelings. For example, sun is following him. Next is centration, which means focus on one aspect of the situation only. For example, judging quantity by height only, such as measuring two same 5-star chocolate with its height and picking heighted chocolate according to the child. Lack of conservation means children cannot understand that quantity remains the same despite change in shape. For example, water in a tall glass appears more than in the short glass. So next stage is concrete operational stage. The concrete operational stage is the third stage in Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Concrete operational stage is from 7 to 11 years. In this stage, children begin to think logically, systematically and rationally. However, their thinking is mainly limited to concrete objects, real life situation and practical experience. They still find it difficult to think about abstract ideas and hypothetical situation. Here the term concrete means real objects or actual experience, and operational means logical mental operations. Thus, children can now perform logical mental operation on real and visual objects only. So, development of logical thinking, in this stage development of logical thinking takes place. Here children begin to think logically, understood relationship and solve problem systematically. For example, child understand if object A is bigger than object B and B is bigger than C, then A is automatically bigger than C. So here better understanding of rules takes place, improve problem solving skills develops, reduce in egocentric nature of the child. Major abilities develop in this stage like conservation. Conservation is the understanding of the child that quantity remains the same even when appearance changes. For example, same amount of water in different glasses. This is one of the most important achievement of this stage. Next is reversibility abilities development, means children understand that actions can be reversed mentally. For example, if 5 plus 3 equals to 8, then 8 minus 5 equals to 5. The child understand both the operation are connected. So classification abilities also develop, which is the ability to group object based on common features, like children can classify according to color, shape, size and functions. For example, grouping fruits separately from vegetables. Next one is very important, which is seriation. Seriation is the ability to arrange object in logical order. For example, arranging sticks from shortest to longest and longest to shortest. Next is decentration abilities, means children can focus on multiple aspects of a situation at the same time. For example, a child understands a glass may be tall or narrow, short but wide. This ability helps conservation development. Reduction of egocentrism, means children become less self-centered. They begin to understand others' point of view, cooperate with peers and develop empathy. For example, a child understand another person may think differently. Next is cause and effect understanding. Here children understand better relationship between events. For example, plants grow because they receive water, sunlight, soil nutrition, etc. Next is improved problem solving skills, which means children become better at planning, organizing, following rules. For example, solving puzzles and mathematical problems logically. So in this stage, abstract thinking and hypothetical thinking is limited and weak, which will be get stronger in this formal operational stage. So here comes our formal operational stage, which is from 11 to 11 years and above. Formal operational is the fourth and final stage in Jean Piaget theory of cognitive development. The term formal means systematic and organized thinking. Operational means mental operation or logical processes. During this stage, adolescent develops the ability to think abstractly, reason logically, solve complex problems, think scientifically, imagine hypothetical situation, etc. Unlike earlier stages, thinking is no longer limited to concrete objects only and direct experiences. So here the term abstract thinking means ideas, concept, theories, values, etc. For example, thinking about justice, freedom, democracy, ethics, love, etc. Hypothetical situation means children can think about the questions like what might have happened if. For example, they can imagine situation they do not actually exist. For example, what would happen if human could live on Mars? Next is logical reasoning. Logical reasoning means adolescents can solve problems using logic and reasoning. For example, all humans are mortal and Ram is a human, then Ram is mortal. This is called deductive reasoning. Next is educational implication. Children should be child learning should be child centered, which means teaching should focus on children's need and interest. Learning by doing method. Children learn better through activities, experiments and hands-on learning experiments. So next is readiness for learning means teaching should match the child's developmental stage. And next is importance of play. Play helps cognitive growth and creativity. Discovery learning means children should explore and discover knowledge independently. Use of teaching aids, charts, models, toys and real objects improve understanding. So next is advantages of Piaget's theory. That is, children explain stages of thinking, which means it shows how children think becomes advanced and logical. Use in education helps teacher plan age appropriate learning experience to the children. Emphasize active reasoning, which encourage independent and analytical thinking of the children. Some limitation of the Piaget's theory, that are children may develop skills earlier than Piaget suggested. Social and cultural factors are less empathized in this theory. So here comes to our conclusion. Jean Piaget theory of cognitive development explains how children gradually develop thinking and reasoning abilities. His stage theory shows that children think differently at different stages of the life. Piaget emphasizes active learning, exploration and child-centered education. This theory remains one of the most important foundations in educational psychology and child development. So, thank you all. This is me presented by Damayanti. And if you like my video, then do like, share and subscribe to my channel. And we will see you in my next video.